Hello once more everybody, Thetymix here. Welcome back to Let's Play the Factorio Way. It has been a bit longer than I wanted since the last episode, but as I mentioned, there was going to need to be some time to do some things off screen, and I ended up redoing part of this because my first idea wasn't the best. In any case, this is where we left off last time. We got copper plates eventually coming in from the east here. There they come. And this is coming in from the west. I just want to take a look at some of the research that I did during this period. And there were a few things that are necessary logistically. Now, since we can't have wood, our only real option if we want to have items cross each other is to use the long inserters. So that was a top priority for me, getting the long-handed inserters to reach across belts and move things a little bit better, not have to join belts but actually move things across in different directions. And before that, of course, very critical to get any military upgrades I can. So I grabbed this, got the, of course, shotgun. Again, we don't have wood, but the submachine gun. So I wanted to get one of those and get that going right away, and a little bit more ammunition as well, so that we can keep pace with any biter attacks that we might run into. Kind of surprised we haven't hit more of that. And then mechanical refining is a big one. Now we can get the electric powered ore crusher. That's not a lot better, but it is faster. And then we've got a bunch more recipes here. Most notably for us at the moment is that we can crush bobmonium and rubite, where currently we're just reduced to sapphirite and stereotype as our only options. But the ore sorter is a big deal. It's another step up into more complicated and also eventually, I think, better dealing with the ore. There's a whole bunch of recipes that go along with that, and I've only just barely scratched the surface with my knowledge of them. But I will say that there is this is important for the only, or the best, not best, the quickest way to get to automating wood, and I'm working towards that. So that was a big reason that I wanted this right here. So those three, the long-handed inserter and the mechanical refining, the military, those were important upgrades to get in. Military for the safety, and the other two for the next direction that I need to go with turning this into a little bit more of a self-respectable operation. And here I just want to show that we have a problem over at the copper area. After the research is finished, and that is that we have, our ore crusher here is clogged full of stone. So no more copper is getting sent out after a certain point. So I'm going to want to deal with this pretty soon. Obviously this is it has worked for now, but I've got to deal with this stone. It's not something I needed to do right away, but it was definitely going to become a problem if I didn't handle it. So when all that those research was done, you can see I'm researching electric mining next over here. We'll get to that. But my next problem was we've got the storage chest here, the main one for the yellow assembler, is clogged to capacity. And that's a problem, obviously. So, well, not quite to capacity, but it's getting close. And we've got all this crushed stone in here. So I wanted to just clear that out, make use of it, and this will serve other purposes not too long. But I've got this assembler here that I made, put that down, a little bit of resources, and a very quick and dirty minimalist operation over here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm yanking all the crushed stone out of here, turning it into regular stone. Then I've got a regular stone chest, and then I'm building this into bricks as well. As you can see down here, I've extended the coal line just a bit. That sucks into there. And so now, I've got all these inserters here so I can turn these the right direction and run this product up into the main chest when I need to, the regular stone and the bricks, or I can just have it churn along and store bricks that we're going to need for later. For example, for things like, the stone walls, obviously, is going to be a huge thing. Building walls to protect myself, that's definitely a big early goal. So I am, doing something else while I'm researching or whatever else I want to do down here. So we're increasing the multitasking of the setup, if you will. And I'm also, making things that I'm going to need. I'm going to need stone for more nanobot cylinders, for example. I'll need it for some other things. I'm going to need stone bricks. The more we get into the mining, I'm going to need more of those. And other equipment, of course, down the line, and the walls. So I'm, basically taking care of those two problems at once. And then as this, almost 2,000 crushed stone gets yanked out of here, then I'm going to have somewhat more space. It's not going to totally solve the problem, but I'm going to have somewhat more space. And here is the new iron, or sapphirite, turning into iron, mining area after the electric mining is complete. Electric mining research, excuse me. And it's the most expensive research I've done so far, 75 red vials. And you can see I've overflowed the coal area here. Didn't shut that off soon enough. But basically what's going on here is, we continue to send out the stone. It's almost done now, sending it out to the yellow assembler area. But also, this mine, you can see, obviously you can gather in a much bigger area, as usual. The electric mines, 6,000 plus. The ore crusher works faster. It all works on electrical power. I've run that down here. And these move fast enough that I actually need a second inserter to keep up with it. And it actually goes slightly faster than the one furnace can handle. So I've improved my productivity a little bit. And also you can see this is gradually going to back up now. So I won't even be able to run this all the time, at least not indefinitely. And so that's sort of our next little step forward. And the only coal we're going to use down here now, this coal lasts longer because the only coal we're going to use is for this inserter and that furnace. Everything else is going to run on power, which comes from the coal back up at our main, our main coal field northeast of here. And now we're back at the copper area, and I really cut it close here because I've literally used all the copper that I had stored up to make this happen. And what I did is I ran a bunch of wires, power poles over here, and I've expanded the setup a little bit. I've got these inserters where they're now storing all of the stone, and they're just pulling out the stone right now. So you can see it's going to take a little bit for all this stone to clear out. And I actually had to shut off the drill for a bit to speed that up a little bit. But the point is, the pressure was actually starting to get relieved so that I could get the copper flowing again. And once the stone does get cleared out of all this, as it will eventually, then I could move forward and have, the iron coming in from the west, copper coming in from the east again, as I wanted it. What you're looking at here is about an hour and a half into this update in terms of gameplay time, and I'm doing more research. You can see by the bar up there, I'm doing some bullet damage and bullet fire rate upgrades. Obviously, again, this is in the vein of self-protection. There I go, screwing it up. This is in the vein of self-protection and, just wanting to be ready for any threat from the biters. But I've got that research going on below, and then while I'm doing that, I'm having this assembler, now that the stone is cleared out, as you can see, this assembler can work on continuing to build things that I'm going to need for my next construction expansion. So the point of this is just that I'm trying to expand, multitask more, get multiple things done at the same time so that we can work our way forward. Now this little operation was the next thing to go up, and this is west. If we take a look at where we are, see, we're right here. We're west of the coal and north of the sapphirite. Obviously our pollution cloud expanding, but there's not a whole lot we can do about that at the moment. So what I'm doing here is I was running out of coal down by the sapphirite area, and that necessitated this. I would have wanted to do it anyway, but it made it necessary. I'm shipping all of the sapphirite or the crushed sapphirite, crushed stone up here, gets smelted here, and then it gets sent east. And most time I'm not using this third furnace. I'm just using a little bit at the moment, but once it gets caught up on everything that's stored down there, it won't be. But the whole idea of this, is that also, since I was doing this, expand the number so I can now fully use whatever iron comes out of the mine and crusher combo down there. And then I've also extended, of course, this coal line all the way down here. So now we have one long coal line that is running from iron, and then the assembler and lab over here, and then all the way east to the copper. So everything is on one coal loop, and it's just another step towards, one less thing that I have to manage or worrying about hooking up. So this is all in place, and I've got stuff rolling in at higher volume now from both sides, so I can build things more quickly and uninterrupted. And this right here is the last little addition that I made with these loops. And what I'm doing there is just giving a buffer here, because this assembler over here can pretty much keep up with all of the iron, but not the stone as well, or not assembler, this inserter rather. And so and this is gradually going to fill up too when I have stone going over here. So I eventually have to go over and turn those off, turn them on. You can see we've got this rolling back on the stone. We've got like a couple hundred stone here and a few hundred bricks, so we're making good progress there. We're chewing through it. There isn't a whole lot in the storage, but I can really get a high volume of iron and copper coming through, and in fact well more than I can ever build enough stuff to use. So now I'm at a point where I'm consistently, I'm going to have to turn on and off the inserters to bringing in the copper or mining more stuff from time to time. But this is going to fill up, and if I sit here for more than a few minutes without going and shutting off this this stone backlog from running over here, then I'm going to be in trouble with this filling up. But the loop gives me a buffer in order to be able to do that. And now the problem really is an issue. Now that I've got plenty of raw materials coming to me, it's all delivered here to this one central area. It's a problem of how do I ramp things up from here? What can I do to improve? And really the point is that I've got to automate wood at this stage. I need the wood for filter inserters or fast inserters or undergrounds or splitters or turrets to protect myself better with. I mean, there's just so many things. To move forward in any meaningful way from this point, I've got to automate wood. So that's going to be the goal in the next episode. But at this point, we've gone a little over 2 hours. It's about 7.5 hours into this run, and there really isn't a whole lot more I can do without the major operation of getting up to wood. So I'm going to call it an update here. And thanks for watching the Factorio Way. Hope you'll continue to join on future episodes. Until then,